If Donald Trump wants to jail our governor for defending our Constitution, for protecting the people of California, then he'll have to arrest me too, and I will gladly and proudly stand with our governor in that jail cell.
What I saw over the weekend was very distressing. I also was notified that federal agents were using an elementary school and a church in Norwalk, which is in my district, as a staging area for raids. Let that sink in. This is a church and elementary school where children are, where they should feel at peace. And this is where ICE was.
Every act that we see coming down from this federal administration is unconstitutional. This escalation came from the President of the United States.
The decision by the current president and his administration to federalize the California National Guard, bypassing the governor, marks one of the most serious and threatening uses of domestic military authority in modern American history.
San Jose stands with LA, and if they come after LA, they come after the Bay. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice." So as they continue to lie, as they continue to make a mockery of our legal system, we will stand up for justice.
What is your main message to the people of California in this moment?
Oh, that Donald Trump is reckless, he's immoral, he's taken the illegal and unconstitutional act of federalizing the National Guard, and he's putting lives at risk. There was no collaboration, there was no counsel, no consideration of the rules of engagement. It was a reckless act that has led to conditions that have been exacerbated, and it's putting people's lives at risk.
So can't he declare an insurrection and go forward with this?
Yeah, he potentially can, and there's latitude. But as it relates to the actual language in his executive order, there's a reason we're going to court tomorrow, and the reason we're confident that we will succeed. There was no request of mutual aid. LAPD, the sheriff's office, no request. CHP, more than capable. We've got 175 CHP off today because of what Donald Trump did with the National Guard.
But we see some of the images in the streets today. We see cars burning. We see freeways being shut down. We see
unacceptable.
But it's clear that things aren't totally under control right now.
That's right, because he's created the conditions.
Yeah.
He's exacerbated the conditions. This is Donald Trump's. These are images that Donald Trump created.
You think he wants it politically?
Of course he wants it politically.
Why?
Because he wants to divide us. He wants to attack the rule of law. He wants to attack the democracy. He wants to attack the best of what makes this country. The reasons our founding fathers lived and died. This fundamental notion of three independent branches. He can't handle. He's already taken over. Speaker Johnson's a joke. He's completely complicit.
Warned you that if you didn't get things under control, he was going to bring in troops.
Stone cold liar. Stone cold liar. He made that up, like he makes up so many other things. He never said that.
And he also seemed to make up this idea that the National Guard did a great job last night when they weren't here.
They weren't even deployed, and he claimed victory. He's lost it. They helped create these conditions to inflame them. This is Donald Trump's mess. What you see in your nightly news is Donald Trump's making, and we've got to clean up this mess. If he can't do it, we're going to have to do it. He's not for peacemaking. He's here for war. He wants a civil war on the streets of America, not just here. He's testing the boundaries by nationalizing the federal guard. Heck, his own great Kristi Noem was just a year ago sitting there with newsmaker Sean Hannity saying it's outrageous that Biden is considering nationalizing the guard in my great state. Kristi Noem, the same Kristi Noem, saying, what about state sovereignties and state rights? And where the hell is Hannity now? Where the hell is Kristi Noem? They're out there just singing the siren songs of chaos, trying to sow chaos and putting our democracy at risk. These are acts of authoritarians. Period, full stop.
So what you're saying and what he's saying, very heated rhetoric. How do we cool this down? How do we get things to calm down? How do we get the streets at this point to be safe?
Donald Trump needs to rescind his order. Period.
There's a pattern we need to talk about. Right now, protests are spreading across the US. ICE raids, National Guard in the streets, chaos growing by the day. And you might feel like it's all spontaneous. like it's just happening, but some of this is by design. It's part of a long, cold strategy, and unless we understand that, we might walk right into the trap. Let me take you back for a second. Germany, 1930s. The SR, Hitler's street militia, didn't just randomly clash with their enemies. They provoked them. They wanted violence. They staged street fights with communists and leftists because those fights gave Hitler a narrative. Look at the chaos. Only I can restore order. Today in America, the strategy is different in form, but not in function. ICE is provoking communities, fear, trauma, disruption, and when people finally react, the response is filmed, labeled as insurrection, and used to justify crackdown. You need to understand the tools they're preparing. The Insurrection Act allows the president to deploy military forces inside the US in case of major unrest or rebellion, even against the will of local governments. And Trump has already hinted at this. He publicly accused California Governor Gavin Newsom of being unable to control the chaos. That's not just political theater, that's setting the stage. That's how you justify taking over states you don't control. And beyond that, there's martial law, full military control, courts suspended, civil rights paused, no protest, no press freedom, no normal life. It's rare, but not impossible, especially under a man like Trump surrounded by people who openly admire autocracy. Let's talk about how this plays out in the public mind. There's a massive difference between the two kinds of footage. One, protesters standing peacefully and being attacked by police or military. That creates sympathy, solidarity, and national outrage. Second, protesters attacking officers, destroying property, setting fires. That creates fear, division, and justification for repression. One image builds movements. The other gives Trump everything he needs. I'm not saying don't protest. I'm saying way more people need to protest on the streets against the atrocities of the Trump regime, but they need to be as peaceful as humanly possible. I know it's tempting. I know it feels good to release the anger, but for Trump's side, broken windows and injured officers are just a few expendable pawns. For our side, our freedom is on the line. That moment of satisfaction when something burns is temporary, but the backlash will be permanent, and it will fall hardest on the most vulnerable. Your enemies have a plan, a detailed one, carefully followed for years. You need a plan too. If you just react emotionally, they win. If you create chaos, they will seize control. That's what Trump wants. That's always what he wanted. As long as people can protest, there is hope. Because when Hitler declared martial law and took total control, there were no protests anymore. Anyone who tried vanished. There were no mass uprisings, no marches, no hashtags, just silence, fear, and death. That's why these peaceful protests matter. They're not born of chaos or despair. They are discipline, solidarity, humanity. They show that we still believe in something better, that we don't need violence to be strong, that we don't need to burn things to be heard. Don't let them bait you. Don't give them the footage they want. Don't let them turn your anger into their excuse. Keep the pressure on Trump, on ICE, on Musk, on Peter Thiel, on the Heritage Foundation, on every Republican enabling this system. But while you do it, stay as peaceful as humanly possible. Peace is not weakness. Peace is the strategy.
Promised 4 years ago at the Republican convention, I'm going to restore law and order.
And I have,
country.
except in Democrat-run cities. Look, we have laws. We have to go by the laws. We can't move in the National Guard. I can call insurrection, but there's no reason to ever do that. Even in a Portland case, we can't call in the National Guard unless we're requested by a governor.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
All right, test. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I have a green light on the mic, so I guess we're good. Hopefully we're not too choppy. Yeah, it looks like it's going through. So hello, everybody. Good afternoon, or good morning here. It's 9:34. Good afternoon for some of you. It's already up to 93 degrees, I think. We're going to get a high of 107. So thanks, everyone, for being here. I'm a little late. Sorry about that. Starting a little late today. But anyhow, welcome to the Trucker John live stream. I just want to say, if you are kind of thin-skinned or easily offended, you get butthurt easily, then maybe this isn't the place for you. I know we've lost a few subscribers, a few people have left, and that's fine. Maybe this isn't the place for you. Maybe go watch Tom Hartman. He seems pretty safe over there. I don't know. But, you know, I'm usually a pretty easygoing guy. Every now and then I'll get emotional. I'll call someone out for their bullshit. You know, that's just the way it is. And if you don't like it, then you can find, there's plenty of other places you can go. All right, so I just want to get that out of the way. But anyhow, I see Jolie was first. Thanks, Jolie, for being here. And Sandy Volts right there next. And then Fancy. Hello, Fancy. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Brooklyn, New York 471's here. Hey, Brooklyn. Brooklyn's here. And Nick Rich. Hey, Nick Rich 56. I always say Nick Rich 56 instead of 66 Nick Rich. I don't know. Sandy Fulton says TJ Trump wants to have LA mayor arrested. Yeah, you know, hey, look. Will he do that? I don't know. I think he's all bluster. I think he's all full of, you know, bluster. Let's just say bluster. I know, because Sandy doesn't like me to cuss, so I'll try not to cuss. But, and if he does it, then I think that only makes the mayor look better. And if he arrests Gavin Newsom, you know, I mean, that's the thing that's going to, I think, would backfire on Trump as far as, you know, if Trump thinks that's some sort of show of strength, I think most people would just go, even right-wingers and Republicans would go, what the fuck? Trump is losing support. I think his base is shrinking. I think Republicans are leaving him. So, and this is what Trump does. He stirs up shit. We saw the very last clip there from January 6th. He's doing the same thing now that he did then. He just stirs up shit. He creates these crises. He creates the problem. There really isn't. LA is not burning. Fancy can attest to this. Fancy lives down there. It's a small little place where the protests are going on. I bet you if you went down to LA to go, let's say you wanted to go to Santa Monica, or you wanted to go to Hollywood, or you're going to go to a Dodger game or something, you probably wouldn't even know the riots were going on. Unless you got stuck on the 101 freeway, which I guess they had closed down the other day. But this is just Trump, just being Trump, and I don't mean that. I don't mean that to just dismiss it, but because it is awful, it is stupid, and it is sort of showing what a dictator he wants to be. But it's the same thing, it's the same thing he did in his first term. It's the same thing, except now there really isn't anyone there to hold him back. There is no General Milley. He's got Stephen Miller who's like, yeah, boss, let's go for it. So it's rough, it's scary, but like in the clips I played, I think remaining peaceful is the key. Don't give him what he wants. He wants people to burn cars. He wants people to throw windows. He wants people to attack cops. That's what he wants. He's trying to egg that on. Don't give it to him. Protest peacefully. But Trump would love nothing more than to see people start attacking cops and the whole thing, Let's see, we got, let me scroll on down. Let's see who else is here. We got 22 watching, 22 thumbs up. So that's a pretty good ratio there. A nice 1-to-1 ratio of watching to thumbs ups. Pam J is here. Hey, Pam J, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Brooklyn says, go Gavin, go get him. Yeah, and this is the Gavin Newsom that I like. And I really wish, if Gavin Newsom is going to have Steve Bannon or Nick Fuentes or whatever on his podcasts, then I think he needs to be tough with them and not give them softball questions and shit, Yeah, Brooklyn, I love this Gavin. Yeah, this is the Gavin that I love, too. Pam J says Gavin's an excellent businessman. He understands California. Everyone thinks we are so far left, but we really aren't. Gavin is quite conservative for a Dem. I love him. Love him. Yeah, I mean, California is 800 miles long and about 350 miles wide, and it's a lot of territory. And once you get out of the Bay Area and once you get out of the LA area, and some of those areas, and you start getting into the Central Valley, and you start getting up even where I lived and out in the desert, and you start getting up, in Redding and shit like that. That's a lot. There's a lot of fucking so-called conservatives up there. All that farm country and agricultural. For some reason, they're Republicans. I don't know why. The Republicans fuck them over. It's the Democrats that they do well under. But yeah, it's the entire state. It's 40 million people spread out over all that territory, all that land, and you have to govern accordingly. Nick Rich says invoking martial law is the plan. Fuck the fascists. Yeah, don't give him what he wants. Hey, Aaron West is here, by the way. So now we are at, I believe, at full mod capacity. But yeah, don't give him what he wants. He wants to stir up all this fucking turmoil, and he wants to get people pissed off to the point where they will start vandalizing and and getting violent and all that kind of stuff. Don't do it. Don't give it to them. Pam J says, does T-Fog know that every morning when we all get up, we ask ourselves, or we look at the news and say, is he dead yet? He really is the Ebenezer Scrooge of the presidents, because no one will give a fuck when he dies. I mean, we'll actually be happy. We'll be dancing on his grave. We'll be singing songs of praise and happiness when he croaks. Nick Chris, 9:30, so I'm about 13 minutes behind you, Nick. Sandy Foltz calling in, or not calling in, but watching from Niagara Falls. Nick Rich is in Toronto. Fancy's back. I didn't know you left. Brooklyn, New York says, raise your hand if you think Gavin will run for president in 2028. Yeah, I think he will. And if we could see more of this Gavin, this, standing up to authoritarianism, standing up to Trump, standing up to right-wingers, then I would vote for him. But if he's going to be the milquetoasty trying to, appease the centrists or whatever, I don't know, But that's why we have a primary process, and so we'll see how it goes up. Because who knows? AOC might run, and I love AOC. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to run. Tim Walz might run. I like Tim Walz. We're gonna have some good choices. Pete Buttigieg might run. I mean, look at the choices that we might have. Tim Walz, Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, AOC, and I'm sure there's a few other names in there I'm forgetting. Kamala Harris might run again. I don't know. I mean, that's like having the Hall of Fame being running for president. As far as I'm concerned, like the current, those are like the future Hall of Famers that are running, to be running for president. And then the Republicans, they just have shitbags. And of course, whoever wins the nomination will be in the running. It's going to be a close race because Fox News and OAN and even the mainstream media, the legacy media, they'll give them all kinds of coverage. They will have double standards. The whole thing, like they do. That's what we're up against. Currently 65 down in LA, according to Fancy. Hey, Brooklyn Rimmer for 5 months. Thank you, Brooklyn. 5 months, and I've loved every minute of it. TJ Rocks. Thank you, Brooklyn. Yippee to Brooklyn. Thanks for being a member. I do appreciate you for the support of being a member, helping to support the show. And I just appreciate you being in the chat and being a good sport with my horrible Brooklyn accent. And, it's a joy to have you in the chat. 56 Nick Rich. It used to be Nick Rich 56 until I destroyed my last phone accidentally about 18 months ago. I couldn't remember the old password, so I knew Google account was needed. And it's been 18 months, and I still can't get used to it. Marsha's here. Hey, Marsha, good to see you. Hope things going well with you today. James Williams. Hey, James, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on back. Robert Nicholas says we're just going to type Fancy. Okay. Damon Dog, the big dog, is in the driver's lounge. Hey, Damon, good to see you. Damon Dog. Damon Dog, the big dog. Non-Useful's here. Non-Useful says, listening outside, I'm filling a massive hole I dug out to repair the water line. I'm too old for this free labor. Well, I'm glad it was something for the water line. When I first started reading about you digging a hole, I was, my mind went to dark places. I don't know. Hey, Diane Capabianco's here. I haven't seen Diane in a while. Thanks for being here. I hope you found a place. I still haven't. I'm still at the Siegel Suites. Today is rent day, so as soon as I'm done with this podcast or live stream, whatever we call it, I'm gonna go down to the office and pay another week of rent. Diane says that VP Harris lives in L.A. She made a statement on Friday. I did see that, and I was going to add that in the clips, and then I just didn't for some reason. I felt like I had enough stuff with the clips. But again, everything she said was solid and true, you know. Golf Marines here says, Golf Marine says, please tell me this is not the Genocide John show now. I don't even know what that means. Oh, because what, we were talking about Gaza yesterday or something? I don't know. If it comes up, now you've introduced it into the chat. We might start talking about Gaza again, and or whatever. I don't know. It's up to you guys. You guys sort of direct or steer. You guys kind of steer the show, you know, by your comments. So, someone's outside. Oh, they're with their dog. Probably not going to clean up after their dog, which always bugs me. Gulf Marines, 60-40 for Dems. Don't know what that means. You're talking about for California, I guess. That sounds about right. Don Musil, the area around Mount Shasta is hardcore MAGA. Yeah, Barbara Nicholas is saying hello to everybody. Golf Marine says assholes who don't have a lot of neighbors tend to be righties because they don't have to get along with many people. Diane Capabianco talking about Trump's grave says his grave will be the most pissed on grave ever. I wonder if he'll even where will his grave might end up being in Saudi Arabia somewhere, you know. Aaron West has Hal Sparks 2028. Yeah, I didn't mention Hal in my list of candidates. I guess it's hard for me to think of Hal as actually being a serious candidate, but I guess he is. And I would love to see him on the debate stage, at least. I think he would make the debate stage very interesting, and I think he might turn a lot of heads, if you know what I mean. People watching might go, whoa, who is this dude? You know? So if he can get the signatures and he needs, and he can get enough percentage of, I guess, in polling or however they do it to get people on the debate stage, hey, I'm all for it. And if he mops the floor with all those, with Gavin Newsom and AOC and Buttigieg and Walz and whoever else, hey man, more power to him. That's what I like about the primaries. You just never know who's going to come out on top. You know, you never know. I didn't think Joe Biden would, back in 2016. I mean, 2020. Wait, 2020. 2016 was Hillary. 2020 doesn't it seem like it's been 10 years or something? But I really didn't. When I heard Joe Biden was running and there was all these other candidates already, I really had Joe Biden as far as my list of favorites almost at the bottom. And like I said, you know, I think he turned out to be the best president within my lifetime, or at least within my voting lifetime, which would be 1980, Memorial Outhouse. Diane Capabianco says Gavin's governorship ends next year. Who are the Dems running for governor in California? Saw a guy running for governor spewing MAGA BS on Fox, of course. I don't know. I hope we don't swing back to, well, I say we, I live in Nevada now, but I was born and raised in California. I lived the first 59 years of my life in California. And I probably will end up back in California at some point. So I just, I consider myself to be a Californian more than anything, but I don't vote there now because I live here. But I don't know who they're going to put up. But I hope the state doesn't swing back to Republicans. They've had they've had governor Democrats now for quite a while, since Jerry Brown took over the disastrous Schwarzenegger term, where Schwarzenegger almost bankrupted the state. Took California, for about as long as I can remember, has always been one of the top economies of the world. We were always 6, 7, 8, and whatever. And Schwarzenegger bankrupted the state, we started losing our economy, losing our standing in the world economy. And Jerry Brown was able to turn us back around, and then Gavin Newsom is just, kept that up, and to where now we're like the 5th largest economy in the world. So I hope they don't swing back to Republicans, because I remember when we had Duke Majan, we had Schwarzenegger, these Republicans that are, well, they were very popular, especially like Duke Majan and shit, So I don't know. I don't know I don't know who's running. Maybe Hal should, because he lives in Vegas, and I guess he has a house in L.A. Maybe he should make his prime residence in L.A. Maybe he does already. I don't know. Maybe he should run for governor. Maybe governor should be a stepping stone to the presidency. I don't know. Anyhow, who am I to tell Hal Sparks what to do? James Williams says the devil's greatest victory was convincing the world he didn't exist. Hey, that sounds like a quote from Usual Suspects. Anyhow, James Williams continues, Trump's greatest victory was convincing the world he is the chosen one. I don't think he convinced the world of that. I think he's convinced a few, million or tens of millions of fucking maggots. Nick Rich says, just dropping a comment, when John's so far behind without context will get overlooked as mid-thread. The longer the comment is, the longer he takes, though. Keep missing the cookie. The cookie has kind of a busy schedule and can't always be here, apparently. James Williams, I have been posting POTUS 4828 for a while. Okay. Roxanne Epstein's here. Hey, Roxanne, good to see you. Thanks for being here. And Damon Dog, Big Dog, with a $4.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Yippee to Damon Dog. $4.99 super sticker. Says for fresh coffee and donuts in the driver's aisles. Thanks, Damon. I appreciate it. Thanks for helping to support the show. Keep us going. Keep us on the air. Is this air? I guess this isn't, because this is not over the air. So I guess thanks for keeping us on the internets. Brooklyn for what Brooklyn accent? I don't hear it in here. I don't hear an accent. What are you kidding me? What accent? You got the accent. I don't got an accent. You got the accent. Anyhow, skipping down. Belfast Bob's here. Hey, Belfast Bob, good to see you. From across the pond, I believe, up in Ireland. So it's probably like late at night over there. Late evening for you. Here's Josh. Josh is here. Josh says, I thought this was the eyebrows and feet show. It could be. This is the everything show. Like I said, you just never know. Diane Capabianco says Rachel Maddow and Lawrence did good shows last night, calling out Trump, and he's failing and is weak. They do good shows. I'll give them that. Rachel and Lawrence, I think they're good. Regardless of what Liberal Dan thinks of Lawrence, I think he does a good show. I think Rachel does a good show. I don't really watch them that often. Truth be told, I really don't watch them all that often. Sometimes I just see clips that show up on YouTube. Rarely am I just sitting and watching. Was it MSNBC or whatever they're on? I usually just pick up things in clips. So, just so you know. Roxanne Epstein just finished changing all the batteries in my fire alarms, and now it's rating its ass off. Well, at least you'll be ready just in case. Brooklyn says, today your green screen is absolutely perfect. Thank you. I'm proud of my green screen. There is a big crease kind of in the middle, but hey, at least we got full coverage, no gaps in the corners. So, and it looks fairly unwrinkled, except for this crease. Just the right one. Oh, no, over here. Why would it be over there? That makes no sense. Anyhow, I guess it's over there. I guess that is what it is. I guess it does make sense. Minus Kevin Anderson's here. Hey, minus Kevin, double O Kev. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. Nick Rich says, Hal can improvise at any time about anything, no weaving necessary. The Hal Sparks weave. Christina Weibel is here. Christina, good to see you. Roxanne Epstein says, I think Jen and I will go to San Francisco and watch the Giants play. All right, go Dodgers. Belfast Bob says, hello, James. What's Ock Madness last night? Some sort of madness. Last night, immigrant homes attacked, maybe burnt out petrol, bombed police shops, attacked marching season coming. Where the hell is that at? Is that in Belfast? I thought you guys were all over all that shit. Pam J says, no, I don't want Hal for governor. Sorry, Hal. Why not? You don't think he would be a good governor? Okay, well, who would you like? I mean, I don't even know what names have been popping up. Have any names popped up that might run for governor? I haven't heard. Pam J, he can be the governor of Nevada. Well, I would take that since I'm living here, and the governor we have now is a Republican, and seems to be fairly reasonable, but still, still kind of a dickwad, MJ Daniels says, been a while since Washington has had a Republican governor too, and we are doing very well in spite of the whining from the GOP. Well, that's all they do. They just fucking whine and gripe, and just say how horrible the Democrats are. And then when they do get in office, all they do is tank economies. Hey, there's Peter Schanzer. Hello, Peter. Good to see you. I'm not sure if I've seen you in here before, so welcome to the old Driver's Lounge. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Peter Chancel says, good day. A good day to you, sir. The Dems need to wake up. Talk louder. Maybe, I'm not sure what talk harder? Talk louder, talk harder. Attack Trump. His followers develop a committed platform and focus on midterms. Then worry about POTUS. Well, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got to get to the midterms. We got to take back the House, and if we can get the Senate, let's grab the Senate. I'm absolutely for that. I do like what AOC and Bernie Sanders have been doing with their Fighting Oligarchy tour. I think Tim Walz is doing well. I think he's been making the rounds, saying the right stuff. I think as we get closer to 2026, we will start seeing more and more Democrats coming out. They're kind of pacing themselves, I think. Roxanne Epstein says, Damon Dowell, that sounds awesome too. I'm not too far from Hotlanta. We want to meet up with you somewhere soon. So I must have missed something. That must have been mid-thread, because I don't know. You guys are traveling and maybe meeting up. I don't know. Sandy Foltz. Hey, notice my photo is now showing. Oh, look at there. You got a new thing with your picture. There's Sandy. Hello. Good to see you. Brooklyn agrees with Peter. Christina Wiles says, Peter, we need to do something now, not midterms. Well, I don't know. What do we not doing that we need to do? What are we Dems not doing right now that we need to do? I think I've seen Dems come out. I just played a clip. Dems are coming out against Trump, against his actions here in LA, or there in LA. Hakeem Jeffries is criticizing the president. I don't know. I'm not sure what else we can do right now. Brooklyn says, thanks for keeping us in the cloud. We're in the cloud. Nick Rich says, yeah, we see you, Sandy Foltz. Hello, he's waving and all that kind of stuff. Peter Chancel says, Christina Weibel, the United States is always in a midterm election cycle. That was my point. And I don't like calling them midterms. I like calling them congressional elections. Just to emphasize the importance of these elections. I think when we just refer to them as midterms, a lot of people kind of slough it off like, it's just a midterm. I can sit this one out. No, you can't sit this one out. Okay, the midterms, the congressional, and then I do it, are just as important as the presidential election, and of course, even the presidential election is still a congressional election because we're still, every 2 years the House is running, and about a third of the Senate is up for election. So, but yeah, I prefer congressional elections, but that's just the thing. That's just the thing that will never, probably ever, it will never be adopted by the mainstream. They will always be called the midterms. Even though I think we need to emphasize that these are congressional elections. Even though it's not just Congress. I mean, there's a lot of other things that will be on your ballot in your area, but anyhow. Let's see. Belfast Bob says that immigration madness spreading from Dinky's USA last summer, riots nationwide, then Dublin and Belfast, long, hot, hateful summer coming. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know. See, that's why it's great to be on the internet where anyone in the world can come in here and they can educate me. I didn't know that Ireland was having all this riots and stuff. I just think of Ireland as being green pastures and rolling hills and a bit of dampness. Christina Weibel says, Peter, he needs to be impeached. I guess we're talking about Trump. And I agree. I mean, we've had Democrats that have introduced impeachment papers or whatever they call it. They're not going anywhere because the Republicans run the Congress right now. But so Democrats are doing whatever they're doing. I think they're doing the best they can right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive, but Roxanne Epstein says Damon Dog deal. I don't know. Jen's coming back to Florida for my birthday in August, and I've got plans to head to Portland before it gets cold. Rest in peace, Portland. Apparently, have they rebuilt it? Pretty soon it's going to be rest in peace, L.A. You know, the way Trump and the right wingers will talk about it, you would think that L.A. is just a big crater. Like I said, you could probably go into LA right now and go to Hollywood or Santa Monica, go to the beach, go check a Dodger game, go to Disneyland, even though that's in Anaheim, but go out to Knott's Berry Farm, whatever, all the sightseeing stuff, and you probably wouldn't even know there's a fucking riot or a protest going on. You wouldn't even know it. But of course, Fox News and right-wing media will paint this picture that LA is just a smoldering heap of ruins. James Williams says if the midterms are what America is hoping will save them, it will be far too late to do anything about it. Okay, so look, the midterms are next year. What are we not doing now that we're supposed to be doing? I think we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. I think we are trying to expose Trump for the lying wannabe dictator that he is. I don't know what else we're supposed to do. Pam J, I like the crease. It makes it look real. Brooklyn says, don't be OCD about a green screen. I know, I do get a little bit on that. William's here. Hey, William, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Caleb Guillory is in the chat today. Good to see Caleb. Says, like looking in a mirror or taking a selfie, laughing out loud, messes with your head. That's probably something in reference to something maybe I said 10 or 15 minutes ago, and I have no idea what that was. Maybe it was when I was doing the thing, trying to figure out. Oh, yeah, that's probably what it was. I was trying to figure out what side the thing was. Sandy Fultz, DJ, did you go down to the leasing office to see what's up? I did not. Yesterday, after the show, I think what did I do? I kind of laid around for a little bit. Then I walked over to Costa Vida and I had some steak tacos again. And it's a very short walk. It's like a 5-minute walk from here. Or maybe it's a little bit longer, waiting for the light change at the crosswalk. But it was it was like 107 degrees outside. And just that little short walk, I felt like my entire body was on fire. It was so hot. And then I went in and I ate, and then I went ahead and so by the time I did this was probably in the afternoon sometime, I guess. Like 3 or something. I don't even remember. And then from there I went ahead and called the Oive. I got the Oive car. That's the car I've been renting. For those of you that don't know or don't remember, or I have to re-explain it. It's an app. On an app, you can just rent this little car, and it's like, and they deliver it to you remotely with a remote driver. Now, when you go on the app, there's a map, like a navigation map, and it tells you where you can pick up a car, and all the purple areas you can have the car delivered to. And it just so happened that Costa Vida, if you look on the map, it's not purple. And so I had to have the car delivered back across the street at the Jack in the Box, which is no big deal, I guess. But anyhow, I kind of wanted it to just go right where I was at, right, Costa Vida. So anyhow, I ordered up the Vey, and it was parked kind of far away, so it took like 10 minutes to get there. So I had plenty of time. It's a 2-minute walk to Jack in the Box. So I walked over to Jack in the Box and then waited for the car from there. So I got the car, and then from there I just went over to Albertsons, and I finally did my grocery shopping. So I did a whole bunch of grocery shopping. And by the time I did that, and then came back to the apartment. Well, then that office is closed they close at 4:30. So by the time I came back and offloaded all my groceries, it was after 4:30. So maybe today I'll try to go there. I'll try to get in today because I call them and I still can't get through. Now I did talk to. There's an apartment right behind me. I didn't tell the lady that I had the eviction. I went into her leasing office and she showed me a room. It looks almost exactly like this room that I'm in now, and it's $944 a month, or something like that. But and I didn't bring up the eviction. I guess I should have, but I don't know. We were just talking, and she seemed so nice, and I don't know. I felt like if all of a sudden I go, I have a recent eviction, then it would have been like I was just wasting her time or something. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm thinking about calling her back and going, you know what? I do have this eviction. Would you guys still rent to me? But anyhow, that's literally right behind. On the other side there's a wall right behind this building, and and I didn't even really take notice of it, but there's these apartments right there, and I just saw when I was in the car yesterday, I saw the sign like says now leasing, and it says like seniors welcome or something like that. And I'm like, hey, I guess I'm a senior now. I'm a senior, so I just drove and I just talked to her, and she showed me the unit, but they probably won't rent to me. I kind of thought maybe if I could like sweet talk her, because we were having a nice conversation. She seemed really nice, but I just didn't bring it up. And I thought I should probably tell her, because if I do fill out an application, they're going to find out. Peter Chancel says, Christina Wabble, he has been impeached twice. We need control of both houses, better media, 24/7 attacks on the Trump regime. Nick Rich, 10 a.m. I'm 15 minutes behind. Just so you know, I'm reading chats from 15 minutes ago, just so you guys know. The Soulcraft. Hey, the Soulcraft's here. Good to see Soulcraft. Says, In the Name of the Father is one of my favorite films. I'm trying to remember that one. Who was in that? What year? Who starred in it? Or maybe refresh my memory on that one. Roxanne Epstein says, Hal would be a great governor of California. I think so, too. I don't know why. You wouldn't want him. Pam J. And Hal lives in Nevada. Well, see, that's the thing. I think he has a house in L.A., and he has a house here. Now, the house here, I don't know. I don't even know if that's in his name. I don't know. That's his business. It's none of my business, right? It's none of our business. I know he lives here with his girlfriend in the Las Vegas area. As far as I know, that could be Summer's house. I mean, that could be in her name. I don't know. It could be in both their name. It could be in his name. I really don't know their situation. But he does say that he has a house in L.A., and I think he owns a house in L.A., and he talks a lot of time like that California and L.A. is like is still his primary residence. So I don't know. But I don't know. That's Hal's business. It's none of my business. I'm just sort of, I don't know, assuming, and then when you, or I don't know, when you assume, you know what you do. You assume. But he does go back and forth. So Diane says, I think Hal would be a great governor of any state. Me too. But he's kind of funny. Over the last, 3 years or so, last few years, he's talked about running for LA mayor. He wouldn't talk about that if he didn't have residency. And he was living in Nevada. He was splitting time back and forth even then, but he still owns a home in LA, and he spends a lot of time in LA. So he was talking about running for mayor, and he didn't do that. I've never heard him talk about running for governor. He sort of just jumped from mayor to president. But who knows? Maybe the conversation that we're having now will kind of get back to him, and maybe he'll think, you know what? Maybe I should run for governor. I don't know. Who knows? Aaron West is going to clear this up. Aaron says Hal still maintains an LA address. Remember when he was going to run for mayor of LA? Yeah, that's what I just mentioned. Yeah. Belfast Bob says we're mostly over sectarianism. Sectarianism. This is fascist racism against immigrants and refugees. Wow. Well, I hope you guys get that sorted out. Pam J. Yes, I know Al owns property in LA, but he lives in Nevada. Well, he owns a house in LA, and he could claim that as his main residency. But I don't know the exact rules on it, as far as like how you declare where you spend most of your time and all that kind of stuff. But it's not just owning property. I believe he owns a house, a residential home. Now the one, like Roxanne says, he has two places. The one here in Vegas, like I said, I don't know. I don't know if that's jointly owned by him and Summer, or for all I know, it could just be Summer owns. Might be the only name on the title. I don't know, or might be Hal on the title. I don't know, and that's none of my business, to tell the truth. Sandy Foltz says Kathy H is a good New York governor. Kathy Hochul, I believe, right? Peter Schonsel, I see some of the usual suspects here. Yeah, we got lots of sparklers. They hang out here. By the way, welcome everyone. We got 45 watching, 43 thumbs ups. So make sure you hit that thumbs up for me. Christina Weill says if he declares martial law, there won't be midterms. And that could be, some people said that's his strategy. Yeah, that he's trying to declare, martial law and all this kind of shit, trying to stir up as much shit as he can. Talking about Trump, of course. Barbara Nicholas, for a while, Kamala Harris. Yeah, that's right. Her name was thrown around for governor, and still she might. Who knows? I think she would be a great governor. She would have been a great president. I think she'd be a great governor too. So. Sandy Foltz says the Niagara Falls mayor sucks. Pam J says I think Hal is super smart, but governor of California, I don't know. I don't think he could fuck it up. I don't think he would fuck it up. You know what I mean? I think Kamala Harris would be an excellent choice, and if she wants to run for governor, I would be fully behind that. Christina Weil, impeach, impeach, impeach. Yeah, but like I said, Republicans control the Senate and they control the House. So until we get those things back, impeachment won't do anything. I guess Tim Farrell's here. I guess I skipped you. Oh, there's Tim. Hi, driving but listening. Oh, thanks, Tim, for being here. Thanks for putting us on your whatever you're listening to as you drive. Nick Rich says, I heard there was a big demand on orange voodoo dolls. Same with orange pincushions. The Soulcraft says, my dad can't listen to Hal because of the language. He prefers Pac-Man. And he only came over to our side 2015 after Trump bashed on McCain. Yeah, I guess David Pac-Man doesn't cuss. He ain't a cussing man. Hey, music's here. Good to see you. In the old chat room. Driver's Lounge. Music says, calling them congressional elections sounds so much more important than midterms. Exactly. Exactly my point. Maybe if people will think they're important, they'll show up and vote. Music says Pac-Man is quite a bit to the left of Hal. Really? I don't know. I never really thought of it that way. As being more left than Hal. I don't know. Oh, Dustin's back. Hey, Dustin. Dusty keeps coming back. All caps though. I don't know. I guess I'll let you get away with it this time. But we don't need to go all Trumpian and go all caps, all the time. And there's no reason really to read the garbage, but I'm glad you're back, Dusty. Because I don't know what I don't really know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do agree. Do not sit out the midterms. Let's not sit out the midterms. And Dusty, I think you might agree that we Democrats, we need to take back the House. We need to get the Senate, and we need to stop Trump in his tracks. We need to impeach Trump. I think I'm just going to interpret that as Dusty there is all on board with us impeaching Trump and removing him from office. That's how I'm going to interpret Dusty there. Jimbo, hey Jimbo, we got another new name. Thanks for coming on in, Jimbo. Jimbo says Bernie needs to get it over with and just kick Trump's ass. Yeah, two old men, right? I think Bernie's been kicking Trump's ass for years now. By the way, metaphorically speaking, figuratively speaking, in as far as their rhetoric, as far as their rhetoric is concerned, The Soulcraft says all we can do is protest and fundraise to run better candidates. Yeah, protest. Make our voices heard. Protest peacefully. Yeah, fundraise, get the candidates' names out there, like Major Ojeda, for instance. Maybe if you got a few bucks, send it their way. Dustin coming in. I do appreciate you being here, Dusty, but you do just spew. You just you spew a lot of nonsense. Christina Weibel, martial law will cancel the congressional elections. He knows the MAGA Republicans are going to lose. He would have to have martial law in all 50 states. So is he going to try to create these fake emergencies in all 50 states, or maybe not all 50, but like all over the place? Maybe. I guess Stephanie Miller was saying she thought like Chicago will be next, and some of these other cities and stuff. But I don't think people are buying it. And I think for the most part, I think the protesters are peaceful. It is just a very, very small amount of people, and they might not even be genuine, right? That we talked about this yesterday about these saboteurs and provocateurs, people that are sent in probably by Trump to instigate, the burning of the cars or whatever. But I think by and large, the protests are peaceful, and I think people know that. I think people are on to the game. I think most of us really are onto it. So I don't think it's going to be so easy for it. But yeah, you're right, though. I mean, Christina, it is something we need to be aware of, and we need to be prepared to not take the bait, basically. Monica Bauer, hey, Monica says, if everything were reversed and a Democrat was doing this dipshittery, what would Mitch McConnell be doing? Can we try that? Well, if it was reversed, so like if we had a Democratic president and he was like violating posse comitatus or whatever the fuck it's called, and sending in Marines and shit like that, what would Mitch McConnell do? I don't know. And if like Mitch McConnell, if he was still the majority, the Senate majority leader. The thing is though, we don't have the Senate, so even now, like we can't do that. We don't got it. Dustin, you are just a real sucker. You don't listen. And even Gavin Newsom says that is unacceptable, and it is unacceptable. But that doesn't mean that the majority of the protesters are doing that. It's a very, very small, minute number of protesters that are doing that kind of thing, and we don't even know if they are true believers or if they're really genuine. And like I mentioned yesterday in yesterday's show, example after example after example of people that were setting fires on buildings on fire during like BLM protests and things, George Floyd protests. They turned out to not even be BLM protesters. They were like Boogaloo Boys and white nationalists. Now I don't know these guys throwing rocks at cars. I don't know where they're from. I don't know, but they do not really represent the 99.9% of the people out there that are protesting peacefully. And if you can't distinguish between the two, then you probably are a moron. You're probably a moron. I'm going to go with that one. Just skipping down here in the chat since I am 20 minutes behind probably. Peter Schonchel says, interesting fact about law enforcement in LA, 8,900 law enforcement plus 12,000 law enforcement in LA County. It is not a lack of police problem. The LAPD said, hey, we don't need the National Guard, and we certainly don't need the Marines. Yeah, this is all Trump and his bullshit. No one asked for the Marines. No one asked for the National Guard. Yeah, this is all Trump's bullshit. Jimbo says, grocery shopping, 2 bags, $300. Thanks, Trump. I will say, I went shopping yesterday. I bought a dozen eggs. They had the regular price of $7.99. They had them on sale for $4.99. So I grabbed one. I only bought one because I already had some eggs in the fridge, and so I thought, well, I don't want to buy too many or have too many. But so I got a good deal on the eggs, $4.99 for a dozen at Albertsons. I will say that. I don't think Trump had anything to do with that, but But yeah, as I was shopping, I was kind of shaking my head, going, "Damn, everything's going up, man. Almost everything seems to be up like $1, $2, $3 up from just a few weeks ago." It's kind of funny. Dustin talks about a sniveling stooge like Biden in charge of anything but shitting his pants. You do know that Donald Trump wears an adult diaper, right? I mean, you do know that. And I'm nothing against. Hey, people have physical ailments as we get older. People have what do you call it? Incontinence or whatever. Now, of course, he's had this for years because he is such a stimulant junkie, snorting Adderall and shit like that. Many stories of people who've worked with him, like on The Apprentice, will attest to the fact that he's been snorting stimulants really heavily for decades, and he's been wearing diapers for quite a while now. So this was even before he got to be really old. But nevertheless, you do realize that it's Donald Trump that's shitting his pants. Just so you know, Dusty. I know you want to project all this shit onto Biden, but actually, it's your boy there that's shitting his pants. Brooklyn says, "Don't mention the eviction." Yeah, I was thinking about just filling out the application and just seeing what happens, even though it's going to cost me $50. It might be like $50 down the drain. But yeah, Brooklyn, I was thinking about just doing it. Yeah, Dustin, can you please? Well, you're probably a bot anyhow, so whatever. Just repeating, but you're just repeating like fucking Hannity talking points from like 8 years ago or something, Yeah, Soulcraft, you're right. Just mindless hyperbole, and Sandy Foltz, how much is the rent behind the wall? It's like I think she said it was $944, $945. And she said there would be $300 off on the first month, and there was something else. They might have waived the deposit or something. It sounded like a really good deal. It sounded like they really want to, rent these out. Although they only had, according to her, they only had 2 units available, and they were both second story. I don't want a second story because it's just too hard for me to walk up the steps. And I mean, I could do it when I'm not holding anything, but I'm just thinking about moving in and having to go up the stairs just to move my shit. I mean, I'll have to hire. I really would have to hire some guys, like I did when I hired people to help me move in here. But that's because I had to do it in like one day, and I didn't want to take a chance. But anyhow, but she did say a first. She said there'll probably be a first floor available. I think she said at the end of the month. And so I told her, well, I would probably just wait for that one. Yeah, Brooklyn says you never know. Yeah, they might miss it. So that's kind of what I was thinking too. Peter Shaw Sales says, why aren't ICE raids going on in Florida? A large percentage of immigrants there start with Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. Soulcraft says Jerry Conlon, who was the man guy, later married one of the Kennedy women. I don't know if we're mid-thread. If that's a mid-thread thing, I don't know what's going on there. Oh yeah, Roxanne Epstein says, Peter, I said the same thing. It must be because Florida is red and California is not. And plus, I don't think they're protesting in Florida right now. I mean, Trump saw the opportunity. These protests broke out because of the ICE raids, but the protests broke out, and then Trump is like seizing that opportunity. In LA, like I said yesterday, it's the number 2 media market in the country. So he doesn't want to pass up the opportunity to make a big show here. Nick Rich says the fact that John attracts trolls proves he's getting some right-wingers' radar. We should actually be welcoming the Dusty turd. Like I said, I did welcome Dusty. I'm glad Dusty's coming back. Michelle says Newsom stood up to the bully. Yeah, and I thought that was great. Josh says gubernatorial is a funny word. It is a funny word. Mad Max, Slava Ukraini, Mad Max. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Christina Weibel says, just because Florida is red, there's still Dems here. There are ICE raids going on here, so stop, Peter. Stop it, Peter. But I guess, is there a big protest going on? Maybe if there's a big protest going on, then Trump would send National Guard in there too. I don't know. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour. Am I 19 minutes behind? Wow. I am behind you, and that's with me skipping a lot. James Williams says, I don't see millions in the streets protesting. Is everyone expecting someone else to organize a peaceful end to the grift, treason, and betrayal of the Constitution by Trump? I don't know. There's lots of protests going on. If you added them up all around the country, maybe there'd be millions. I don't know. I think it's building. I think it's building, and I think that I don't know. Isn't there supposed to be some stuff this weekend? The no king stuff. Roxanne Epstein says, that's a good point, TJ, about Hal and Summer's Place, and it's none of our business. I just think we want Hal to qualify to run in California. Well, see, the thing is, I'm sure whatever Hal does, Hal knows what he knows. I think what he's eligible for. If he's eligible to run in California, he'll do it because he knows he can do it. He's not going to try to cheat or skirt or lie. And if he's eligible to run for an office in Nevada, then so he knows. Hal knows his shit. I'll leave it up to Hal. Apparently, he's running for president, so it doesn't matter where he lives, as long as he's a U.S. citizen and he lives in America, somewhere in America. But so, Diane Capobianco says my governor here in Florida is Ron DeSantis. Wait, Ron DeathSantis. See there, I just overlooked it. I call him that. Luckily, his term ends in 2028. Yeah, Dustin, you're free to leave, Dustin. You're free to go. There's the door, my friend. Please don't let it hit you on the ass on the way out. Gin up the base says, Trucker John, I agree with you that sarcasm doesn't translate well via chat. That said, nice hat, TJ. I don't take that as sarcasm. You're right, because I think you're being very sincere. I think you really like my hat, as well you should. You might actually show me that you've got a little bit of class. Jimbo says he caught Brando and Mr. Global live. They are awesome. Aaron West, I love it when trolls see themselves out. Yes. See yourself out. There's the door, my friend. Roxanne Epstein, I love Katie Porter. She'd make a great president, too. I do, too. I think she's great. Jimbo, I'm the only one left of Hal, dang it. Pam J with a $2 super sticker. Thank you so much, Pam J. Yippee! Pam J, $2. Something to support the show. It says Giants are 2 games behind the Dodgers. Just saying. Oh, like it? Yeah. It's a long season, and who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? The Dodgers started off. Didn't they start off like 8-0 or 9-0 or something? Right off the bat, and I remember people are going, "Oh, they're so dominant, and this is the mighty Dodgers." And I'm like, even me, I'm a lifelong Dodgers fan, guys. I'm wearing the hat, but even I'm just going like, "Whoa, pump the brakes there." We've still got 150 something games to go. It's a long fucking season. They got off to this 9-0 start or whatever it was. You guys will probably correct me. But it's a long fucking season, so we'll see how it goes. That's the great thing about baseball. I love baseball because so many things can happen, and you just don't know. It's like a whole drama. It's like an epic journey going through the season. The Soulcraft says Cubs are slamming right now, and I was hoping the Pirates would be in it. Walter McCarovich. Hey, Walter, good to see you. Walter says, wake up, House and Senate Democrats, please. I think they're awake, Walter. I think they're awake. I don't know. Maybe in my clips, I'll try to get more stuff about Democrats being awake. Nick Rich, no Kings. Yeah, I think we got the no Kings stuff going on this weekend. Maybe. I don't know. I'm skipping down, probably skipping a lot of chats, so you know. But it looks like Robert Perez is here. Be ready for a fight. Damon Dog, the Soulcraft, I'm used to it. I've been a Braves fan all the way back to Phil Necro. Susie Jones says, I'm on the phone, can't chat, just wanted to say hi. Hello, Susie Jones. You're probably either well into your phone call or that phone call may be long gone over with by now because I'm probably 20 minutes behind. But thanks for being here, Susie. Nick Rich says, waiting for the Democratic Party to repair the disasters of the Republican Party has been a vicious cycle for a century. Only a quarter of the way through this one so far. It certainly has been that way since, for at least the last 40 years, anyhow, it seems like. Maybe longer, I don't know. Goffin Marine says, seen footage of LAPD kicking back, eating delivered McDonald's, smoking and joking. Josh says, TJ, have you tried bacon in the oven yet? No. But I did buy some bacon yesterday. And I was going to cook it in the microwave. Because you guys were saying how you could microwave it. But I decided to cook this, because I have sausage too. So I went with the sausage this morning. Maybe tomorrow I'll try bacon. I'll probably try it in the microwave. I don't know if I want to. Well, you know what? I don't really have like a baking tray or whatever. That's the thing too. So I might not do the oven since I don't really have like a tray to put the bacon on. But I think in the microwave I can just put it on a paper plate and put some paper towels over it, or you know, under and over it. I think that'll work. So maybe for tomorrow I'll try the microwave. I don't think I'm going to try the oven until I get a tray. And I was thinking about buying one yesterday, but yesterday I actually bought another pan. So now I've got two pans, and it makes it easier for me to cook. Use one to cook up the hash browns and sausage, and then the other one to cook my omelet. Instead of just having one pan to try to do everything. Don Useful says, defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. When we defend in foreign conflicts, assassins are used. Why not domestic? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how to touch that one. The Soulcraft, you can give someone grace when they have expressed humility. Damon Dog says, I loved Maddox and Smoltz was the best closer ever. Yeah, those were some good era, a good time there with the Braves. Roxanne Epstein says, cool TJ, I'm hoping the apartment works out. Yes, something's going to come along here. I'll get it figured out eventually. Soulcraft says, awesome, Aaron. I know that's exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The Love Boat, laughing out loud. Is Aaron taking a cruise? I did skip. Oh, Aaron says, my boyfriend and I were just approved for a rental house. We move in August. Nice. Josh is asking, does everyone know where they are going for the No Kings rallies? I don't know. Hey, Freevent28's here. Freevent, good to see you. Thanks for dropping on in. Freevent28 says, hold on to your butts, Americans. Things are warming up. Diane Capobianco, I am a blue dot in Florida. Now, in the last election, it did seem like, I remember seeing like people from what's that place called where all the old people live? That they were actually getting a bunch of Democratic or at least support for Kamala Harris, and it seemed like maybe they're becoming a little bit less red. I don't know. Josh says, I guess I'm more of a central Nier or New Yorker. Maybe that's what that is. I don't know. Brooklyn, New York, $2 super sticker. Thank you so much, Brooklyn. You're doing a great job educating us. No, you guys are educating me. Well, thank you, Brooklyn. Yippee! Help support the show. I do appreciate you. Diane Capabianco says, yes, no king protest everywhere except Washington, D.C. Oh, yeah, okay, because Trump's draft Dodger birthday parade will be going on. All the streets will be blocked off. Yeah, so don't go to D.C. Just avoid D.C. like the plague for that weekend. Boycott D.C. this weekend. I guess it's this weekend, right? The Soulcraft says it's hard to go to an MLB game because the crowds and price, etc. I've been sticking to my minor league games, and they've gotten a bit more crowded. I miss the old Huntsville Stars. Josh says it's 74 in Savannah, New York. I'm sort of just skipping down and cherry picking some of these chats. Like this one, for instance, where Diane Capabianco says, the Pope's Mass in Chicago on Saturday, tickets sold out quickly. There's still tickets for Trump's parade. Well, there you go. The Pope is more popular than the president. And in this case, I think it certainly should be that way. Soulcraft says, I'm getting into fast pitch softball. It's cool because it's mixed. I mean, so for here, it tends to be more liberal-minded people. Oh, if you're talking about the crowd, the audience, the spectators. Monica Bauer, I'm taking the tortoise to the vet for the first time. Nothing wrong. These 3 years old, first checkup. Wow. Golf Marine says the Yugo is more robust and said to be the best iteration of the SKS. Glad I grabbed one while the grabbing was good. I'm probably mid-thread. Are you talking about the Yugo, the car that they made like a long time ago? The little Yugos? Brooklyn says, don't worry about being behind in the chat. I'm enjoying it all. Robert Perez, my favorite player was Phil McCracken. That's funny. Jolie says, unless there's insulting people in the chat or just spamming the chat, I like to leave the trolls for John to play with. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's pretty much. I don't mind them being here. Supposedly, it helps the algorithm. Supposedly, and I don't mind they're here if they're here as long as like Jolie says, they're not, insulting. I mean, they are kind of just by the nature of who they are kind of insulting. But I sort as long as they don't get into like hate speech, the hate speech stuff and stuff like that, and just like spam and whatever. But you know what? We had Mike. Where's Mike H? I haven't seen him in a while, but Mike H came in here and he was a bit trolly, and then he became one of our friends. I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe he's not my friend anymore. I don't know. But now we got Dustin. I don't know. Do you think if Dustin's real? A lot of you guys are saying he's just a bot, but if Dustin is real, do we have a chance of maybe turning Dustin around? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Or at least being a little more thoughtful of a person, maybe? Or maybe someone who will think on his own and not just regurgitate right-wing talking points that he's heard on Sean Hannity or, Alex Jones or something? I don't know. Who knows? You just never know about these things. So, like I said, as long as he doesn't start spewing out a bunch of vile, hate speech, like homophobic shit or whatever, and racist shit, then then we'll kind of put him on a long leash there, The Villages, yes, that's what I was talking about, Diane. The Villages, yeah. Didn't they have sort of a big, maybe not a big, but at least more than I thought, sort of a turnout, or they were having rallies or whatever for Kamala at the Villages of all places. See, that's another thing. That's why I know we talk about the election was stolen or it wasn't, and that's one of the things. We saw all this stuff, man. And Ojeda is right. It just doesn't seem right. Something's not right. It's not right, man. The 2020 election, it just does not compute. It's not computing. Josh says TJ should do an entire show in Brooklyn voice. Well, I don't know how long I could keep it up. You know what I mean? And I would probably start getting into Rodney Dangerfield or something. Hey, I don't know. I would botch it. Monroe Bauer, she is a brown immigrant woman, U.S. citizen, and he is African American. Should be interesting. I'm mid-thread, so I don't know if you're talking about candidates running for stuff. I'm mid-thread, folks. Mid-thread. Damon Dog, I just reserved 2 seats for the parade. Nope, my absence will speak loudly. I did the same thing a couple weeks ago. I reserved 2 tickets, and I, of course, have no plans of attending. I don't know if that's going to do anything or not, but I figured it couldn't hurt. Damon Dog, Pope versus Dope. I saw a clip. I think it was real. I don't know, but where the new Pope, was just talking shit about J.D. Vance or something. Well, it's kind of funny. Brooklyn says, I don't think you're mid-thread. I don't know what you're talking about either. Mad Max says, Mike H. started out as a dick but became an all right dude. I don't know. I haven't seen Mike H. in a while. I miss Mike H. Mike H., where are you, bud? You should come out and hang out with us, Mike. Maybe Mike went back to his old ways. I don't know. Who knows? The Soulcraft says he quotes Jones word for word, so I know he's swallowing those lies. Josh agrees with Mac. Monica Bauer got a split. See you later. Well, thanks, Monica, for being here. I appreciate you. Hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow at about 11. I'll do an after Hal Sparks Show tomorrow at 11. I don't think I'm going to be doing the Thursday, the 3 p.m. shows anymore. I kind of haven't done one in a while now. I don't think I'll be doing that. But tomorrow's Tuesday. Wait, what day is today? Oh, today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. So I think I'm going to do it tomorrow, 11 a.m. show right after Hal Sparks. In case you're interested. My whistle was getting dry. The Soulcraft says Mike H., the dude that had the other name that was Mike Hunt. Laughing out loud. No, that's his name. I just call him Mike H. because I think it's either a fake name or if it's his real name, but I think he just wants people to make it sound like you're saying what you would say when you put those 2 words together. Josh says Wes is all right, but sometimes misguided, or just or maybe just high on something. I don't know. Roxanne Epstein says Wes W seems trolly to me too, but I agree. I like to give people a chance. Soulcraft, Wes is reachable. Where is Wes? I think he's boycotting me. Josh says, yeah, Wes is 90% a reasonable person. I think Wes just likes to come in and he likes to stir up shit and get people to think about maybe things in ways that we don't normally think. You know what I mean? Jolie says, I just reserved 2 tickets to the parade too. Non-Useless says, will Americans shoot less fireworks this year due to the tariffs, or will it be just about the same as last 4th of July? That's a good question. I don't know. I have no idea. Roxanne Epstein says, Wes is all right. Jolie says 90% might be pushing it, Josh. Let's go to 70%. The Soulcraft says, damn generous too. And Wes says he only talks to libs. I see why. Laughing out loud. Josh says, I think sometimes he likes to provoke for the sake of stirring the pot. Yeah, I agree with that. There's WW. WW says, people talking about Wes like he's not even here. WW, have you seen Wes? WW, is Wes in the room with us now? Anyhow, but hey, WW, at least if Wes isn't here, then at least WW is here. I feel that's a very very close, very close to the original. Soulcraft says, oh, okay. Keith Polite here. Hey, Keith, the polite one. No. Says, does Washington, D.C. get stuck with the cost of repairing streets damaged by tanks on display? Someone's got to pay for it, I guess. Now, I heard that they were going to lay out metal plates on the street to help mitigate the damage or something. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Brooklyn, I remember Mike now. Roxanne says, oh, geez, WW11, we were talking about you. Apparently was lurking the whole time. Just to see if we would say anything about him. He was lurking. Mad Max says, I usually see Wes in Tony's show. It just ended, so he may just show up here. Sunny Folt says, TJ, are you getting ready to close for today? Yeah, I am. I am getting about, I think 17 more minutes ought to do it. Can you handle me for 17 more minutes? We're 2 away from the goal, by the way. WW says, sometimes things around here need a little livening up. Absolutely, W. So tell West to come in here, liven things up. Sandy Folt says, the swimming pools are getting ready to open out here. Oh, good. That's always fun. Summertime swimming pools. The Soulcraft says, I have an alt persona too. I call her Kristen Katie. Nick Rich says, the Dark Brain 131 is always lurking where he's loved. The Dark Brain 131. I have never heard of that person. WW, is it possible to have multiple tabs open? I don't know. WW, I haven't been Dark Brain in a long time. Oh. WW, you have him blocked, Trucker John. I thought I unblocked him. I thought we discussed this. I thought I unblocked him. I thought I did. And I forget how to unblock. Jolie will have to post that link again or something. I don't know. Because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. What am I doing? I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to do it later. I thought I did unblock you, but apparently not. I don't know. Oh, there it is. To see your YouTube log list. Okay, I'm checking it out. I'm checking it out. I'm checking it out. By the way, we are, as far as I know, also on Twitch and Facebook. Twitch, I think, is Trucker John 66 or something like that. Apparently, Trucker John 1 was taken, or Trucker John, so I just went down to 66. And Facebook, we are on, I believe, the progressive radio station list. I should be on there if you prefer Facebook or Twitch. I don't know why I'm swaying back and forth. Blocked users. Okay, I'm on blocked users. This says no users currently blocked. So there. According to my Google account, it says no blocked users. See, I think we go through this every time. This is not the first time I think we've had this conversation. According to my Google account, according to going to this link that Jolie has provided, there is no one on my block list. So I don't know what to tell you. Marcia says he can be incredibly insensitive at times to those who have Wes blocked and unblocked twice, third time for good, and now you know why, Wes. Keith Polite is looking forward to the creative No Kings protest signs this Sunday. Amy Reins is here. Hey, Amy Reins. I think Wes lives in Farmer City, Illinois, near where I'm from. Oh, yes, Nick Rich. The titles of Sly and the Family Stone's best tunes can be shared by everyone here. Everyday people dance to the music. Thank you for letting me be myself again. I love that song. Family Affair, I Want to Take You Higher. Rest in peace, Sly Stone. Sly Stone passed away, 82 years of age. One of my favorites, one of my all-time favorite groups and performers, Sly Stone, and those lists of songs are I love all those songs. Especially Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself. That's probably my favorite Sly and the Family Stone song. So thanks, Rich, for mentioning that, because I was remiss in mentioning Sly Stone passing away at 82. And yeah, rest in peace, brother. Sandy Fold says, TJ, don't forget to stop by the leasing office. Okay, Sandy, I know. Thanks for being. I know you're on it. You're on it. I need to be on it. Jolie says, Trucker John, I think it's probably a different list for blocking a person in a chat and banning them from your channel. I'll look it up. Okay. Soulcraft says, I have people on my block list I don't remember at all. And then Jolie has this link, support. That's a PayPal. Okay. Oh, yeah. I thought you were thought you found the banning thing, but yeah, we can do that. That is a direct way of supporting the show instead of giving YouTube a cut. You can go to PayPal. I also have Buy Me a Coffee. Gin Up the Bass at Roxanne Epstein says Slystone was neighbors with my good friend in Oakland near Lake Chabot golf course. Mad Max Sly was fantastic at Woodstock. The Soulcraft says also I noticed I'll get gifted memberships when I'm not in the chat. I'm thankful for them nonetheless. And Marie G. and Greco, speaking of gifted memberships, Marie G. and Greco gifting 5, count them 5, Trucker John memberships. Thank you, Marie. I appreciate you. Yippee. Marie gets a yippee. Yippee to Marie. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And look at there. Domino Captures got one. Teresa T.A.K. Love Teresa. Reggie Elmore. Rich Dearlam. And Sherry Veth. Some names I don't recognize, so maybe those folks will come on in sometime and visit us and find out how cool we are and come back and hang out. I don't know. Maybe. A guy can dream, right? A guy can dream. But thank you. Thank you so much for that. Barbara Nicholas says, did you see when they brought in the troops? Oh, yeah, there's no plan for housing, food, bathroom. Yeah, it's because it's like Trump does everything. He does everything half-assed. Oh, Jim, there's Silent T in Chabot. Kind of like Chalet and Lieutenant. No, I don't know. St. Louis. No, Kansas. Arkansas. I don't know. There's silent words everywhere. Silent letters or whatever. I don't know. And I didn't see it. And thanks for pointing it out for me. Josh says, I'll start supporting shows in like 5 years when my kid is done with his college. Hey, Josh, just being here is support enough. When people do like memberships and they do the monetary thing, I love it. I appreciate it. But it's, that's not the only way you can support. Being here, chatting, liking, subscribing, sharing, being a part of this community, of our little community here, our little trucker community, and hanging out with us, that is more than enough, my friend. That's more than enough. Just being here and chatting and stuff. Domino Captures. Hey, I'm here. Hey, Domino. Thanks for being here. And enjoy your little membership there that you got. By golly. And you can see this. But yeah, thank you, Marie, for that. Damon Dog says very groovy gifting. Very groovy. Talking about Sly and the Family Stone and bringing up the groovy term, I think is appropriate. And look, we did it. We got the goal. The goal is complete. And Domino Captures, I got a gift membership. God bless John. You got that thanks to Marie, Domino. Thank Marie, G and Greco. By the way. Mad Max says, I'm so glad Dusty didn't get a free membership. Well, if he got one, again, maybe we can turn Dusty. I don't know. Belfast Bob with the $2 super sticker. Thank you so much, Belfast Bob. I appreciate you. Oh, that's, I think, £2, I think, or euros. I don't know. But thank you so much, Bob. Yeah, you beat a Belfast Bob. And Domino Capture with $2.79 deal there. So thank you, Domino. Thank you so much. You beat a Domino. Stay up and stay blessed, my brother. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And you likewise. So we've achieved the goal. So thank you to everyone who did that. We got the goal. I thank you all. You guys are awesome. Goal, says Brooklyn. Goal. I was going to set the goal at like 50 just for shits and giggles, but I think 5 is appropriate. Domino Captures. I don't know what OFC means, but John's the only streamer I donate to. Well, thank you, Domino Captures. I appreciate it. Nick Rich says, I'm sure that moderators can time out members too, accidentally even. It happens. It happens. Brooklyn, New York, how's the table working out? It's doing great. It's in the corner. I have my coffee maker on there, and I have my box of coffee, little K-cups on there. And yesterday, when I brought in all my groceries, I used it to stack some of the bags up as I was bringing stuff in. So, yeah, it's proving useful, and I think it looks nice. I'm not sure if I don't know if I should bring it with me if I move. If I move to the, depends on where I move to. Because the place that I was looking at behind me, it's furnished, and it's very nice furniture. Much nicer. Well, this has nice furniture too, but I think it's even nicer over there. And it did have like a little dining room table in there. It was nice. It was pretty nice. WW. Oh, here's WW. Member for 11 months. Yippee to all. Well, thank you, WW. Yippee. For 11 months membership. I appreciate you, WW. With your king thing there. No kings, WW. No kings. Josh, the saga of TJ's table. WW curses are sometimes impossible to lift. Ooh. Belfast Bob, keep on trucking Doobie. Who's Doobie? Oh, W. Oh, W. That's probably W. Keep on trucking W. I was going to be like, doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie doo. Barbara Nicholas, yeah, I was wondering if there's any more furniture flying out windows. I haven't seen any in a while. Although I did hear someone pounding on the doors, or on the walls or something, like they were hammering something. Every now and then I'll hear that, but it'll be like at 7 or 8 at night, and I'm like, I don't think that's the maintenance crew or whatever. I don't think they work those hours. So somebody was in one of these rooms. I couldn't even tell exactly where it was coming from. And they do it every now and then. Like it's like this hammering, like they're hammering shit, nailing something to the wall or installing carpet. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And it's, like I said, I don't know if it's behind me or upstairs. I can't really tell, but it's annoying as fuck. And they'll do it for it's only like a couple minutes or something. And it's not every night. It's been like 2 or 3 different times where they'll just start doing this weird hammering thing. And I'm like, I'm just like, what the fuck are they doing? What are they hammering at? And it wasn't like the middle of the night, but it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I know that like maintenance or whatever, they don't do shit at that. They work like regular 9 to 5 hour, whatever. They don't do shit at 8 o'clock at night. So I don't know. This is weird shit that goes on. It's just some weird shit that goes on. Speaking of weird shit, I don't know if Nick Rich is still here or not. I heard he's been missing me, and hey pal, I miss you too. Just wanted to say I miss you too, old Nick. Haven't seen you in a while. I just wanted to pop in and say hi real quick. And I got a little confession to make. That was me doing all the hammering. I don't think Trucker John. No, I don't think he knows. I'm a neighbor. I live right behind him. You didn't know that, Trucker John? I fucking literally live right behind you. And yeah, every now and then I like to hang a picture. Do you fucking mind? And I do a little carpet repair myself. I do a little flooring repair. I'm a handyman. I'm a handy cookie. Okay? I don't need to rely on maintenance coming in. And if I know how to swing a hammer, my friend. All right, I can swing a hammer. So every now and then I got to do my own repairs. All right. So stop your bitching. Quit your bitching, Trucker John. It's not like I'm building a house back there. It's only for a few minutes. You can put up with it. All right? And just because you're too much of a pussy to swing a hammer every now and then, do some of your own repair work, that's not on me. All right, neighbor? Anyhow. All right. Sometimes Trucker John just gets my dander up. My dander up. Or whatever. You know what I mean? So, anyhow, I just want to say hi to Nick. And you know, screw you, Trucker John. I don't give a rat's ass about you, but I did want to say hi to Nick. So, hello, Nick. And hello, everybody else that's out there. All right. I just never thought about this, but I don't think Trucker John realizes where we live. I also have a unit, just a couple down and up. I'm in this. We all kind of live in the same area. It's kind of funny how this all works out, but he doesn't even keep track of us. Trucker John is so. He's like into his own little world. He's just like he acts like none of us exist. I don't know what the deal with Trucker John is, but whatever. Maybe he'll grow as a human being. It's not too late, I guess. Anyhow, yeah, it's been hot here, by the way, and I'm going to go and just sit in front of the AC all day, if you don't mind. It's been very hot here in Vegas. So I got to get back to the AC. But yeah, I just want to say hi real quick to everybody. And no kings. If you can find a rally somewhere, that'd be nice for the weekend. But I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be probably watching Nerd Halen. They're performing at the Sunset Station here in the Vegas area on the 14th. That's where I'm going to be. That's right. So maybe I'll see Trucker John and Tough Cookie over there too. I don't know. But anyhow, have a good weekend, guys. Have a good one. I just wanted to say hello real quick before Trucker John kicks me out of the thing, whatever this thing is. Yeah, you guys, get out. Just get out. Go back to your hammering and go back to your AC or whatever. Okay. All right. So those guys, yeah, I think they're kind of dicks myself. Whatever. Sandy Foltz, did you buy a lot of food? Well, I bought probably, it'll be enough to last me probably 2 or 3 weeks, I guess, maybe a couple weeks. Probably a couple weeks worth of food. Marie J. Greco, TJ, you should grow a full beard and dye it purple. Well, my full beards are kind of not really full. They're kind of scraggly. But Brooklyn, do Cookie with a Brooklyn accent. Mad Matt going to be 81 in Seattle today. Apparently that's hot for you guys. We're going to be 107 today, I believe. Yeah, they say the high is going to be 107. WW, there says there are like 3 rallies in Rockford on June 14th. Anyhow, I got to go pay my rent. It's 11:27. They like to have it in before noon. So I'm going to go pay my goddamn rent for another week at this fucking place. But anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for all the support of the show here. Let me just go back. I can look at my the fan funding. They have a little thing here where it pops up. And I can just go back. Brooklyn, membership, been a member for 5 months. Thank you, Brooklyn. Damon Dog had a $4.99 super sticker. Pam J, $2 super sticker. Broken 471, $2 super sticker. Marie G and Greco gifted 5 memberships. Belfast Bob coming in with 2, I guess that's pounds or euros. I don't know, but thank you, Belfast Bob. And Dominic Captures with $2.79 CA. I'm not sure what CA is, but thank you. Nevertheless, thank you so much. WW celebrated 11 months membership. So thank you so much, WW. I appreciate you. Thank all you guys for being here. Let's plan. How about we plan on meeting up again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time zone, probably right after Hal Sparks. Sound good? All right. So here's a portion of the show where I'll try to come up with some words of wisdom for you, something to just help you get through your day. Get paper, get a pencil, pad, all that kind of stuff, and write this down. Okay, you ready? Here we go. All right, guys. So
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Trucker John, on the road he rides, live streaming all through the nights. From politics to pop culture he speaks. No topic is off limits, nothing is weak. From Vegas to the highways, he'll never tire, shouting about food, talking about desire. He's the rebel of the asphalt, the king of the night. With a microphone in his hand, he's ready to ignite. Freedom is his fuel, passion in his soul. Gotta express himself, gotta take control. Moving through the country, keeping it real, no filter, no holding back, nothing to conceal. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, and movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. In my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road. Just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret. It'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life. Everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot. You're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.